Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Speaking Nerd Podcast, the place to talk about all things comics, movies, TV, video games, and everything nerdy. So, today, my friends, we're talking about 2020. And I know this is a bit of a shock to you guys, but yes, two videos, two podcasts on the exact same day. So, it doesn't matter which one you watch first. If you're watching the best of first, then welcome to the worst of video, and vice versa. So, I'm here with my friends Batman Ultra and Swfte is back with us. And for this first recording, we're going to be talking about what we think is the worst of 2020. So, how this is going to go is we're going to go by topics. So, movies, TV, video games, comic books, and then also we have an extra. If they have an extra bit they want to talk about, we'll add that at the very end. So kicking it off, we have movies as our first topic, and we're just going to talk about what we think was the worst movie we saw this year. We'll talk about it for a little bit, and then et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to have Batman Ultra kick us off with what he thinks is the worst movie of this year. So go right ahead.
Wow. The worst movie?
Yes.
Let's see. Well, to be fair, there wasn't a lot of movies this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's see how many movies there were this year. I'm just going to straight search it up.
I'm going to say less than 40.
Okay, we had Tenet, which I don't know how you guys feel about Tenet, but I love Tenet. Mm-hmm. So anybody who thinks otherwise, they're wrong. They're objectively wrong. We got The Honest Thief with Liam Neeson. The War with Grandpa with Bob De Niro. I mean, the few movies we did get weren't terrible. I mean, I enjoyed New Mutants, despite what most people say.
Yeah, but out of that list, what would you consider like your least favorite out of what you've seen?
I got one. I didn't watch it, but I know it's objectively the worst.
Okay.
Cuties.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think anyone can disagree with me on that.
Yeah, I can't really say much about it since I haven't seen it myself. So, but yeah.
Well, what was yours, Marvel? Your least favorite movie?
Actually, I was going to ask you that, and then.
Oh, okay. I can go.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I would say, out of the select few movies I have seen this year, because I haven't really kept tabs on a lot, my least favorite out of the ones I've seen is probably The War with Grandpa.
Okay.
With
I never saw that.
It's just like
it looked like a kid's movie.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing is like I can't picture Bob De Niro being in a kid's movie,
like,
and it actually being good. And I'm like a huge Robert De Niro fan. I've studied a lot of his work, and
he's my favorite movie.
I can't get past this. And like he's been in some bad movies before, as all actors I think are, but this movie is just it's one of those movies. It's kind of like a throwaway movie. It's just like let's make a movie. I need a paycheck. That's how I see it anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my least favorite movie of this year.
Okay. So getting into my worst movie, because I mean, like you guys, I didn't really see much due to circumstances that we will not mention. But out of all that I've seen this year, the one that is just objectively the worst for me is Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Oh, I forgot that it was this year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, me too.
I never watched it that personally.
Wait, can we curse in this podcast? I don't really like cursing too much.
Fuck yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, dude, that movie fucking blew. That was a horrible movie. I don't know why I didn't say that.
Yeah, it is objectively terrible. I mean, it's really weird because it's like it's the end of a series, which by itself, has its high points in a sense, but for the most part is just kind of mediocre.
Okay. There wasn't a lot of high points, but there was a pretty low point. Batman Hush.
Oh man.
Wasn't that last year?
The worst movie in the history of cinema.
Wait, but wasn't that last year? I'm just like, or was that this?
Oh,
okay.
We were just talking about the universe in general.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot it was in that universe.
That movie is so terrible.
Yeah, the DC, all right. So DC in this aspect just doesn't know what they're doing all the time. Like they've made a couple really great animated films, but like the ones in that universe, I like a couple of them, but like the main major ones, I really don't like for some reason. They just don't. They're not good.
I mean, my favorite in that series was it was the Justice League War. I really like that one.
Yeah.
But I don't really like that many of the other ones. I mean, if Flashpoint doesn't really count, right? Because that's pre-continuity.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Because
I mean, if so, Flashpoint would be the best.
Flashpoint was amazing.
Flashpoint,
it was actually a distinct.
Although
movie.
I will say I do prefer the comics for Flashpoint.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So much more in depth. But this is not about comics.
We did get the meme.
We'll move on to that later.
We did get the meme from Flashpoint.
Exactly. All right,
reverse Flash meme.
Oh my god.
I guess let's move on to what's next.
Well, actually, I was just gonna talk about the movie for a second because we've been talking about the universe. Just
go ahead.
Talking there. So it's the end of a series, and because WB and DC don't care anymore because these movies haven't been making money, they just decide to kill everything. So the whole movie is just grotesque violent. Like, it's almost unnerving watching like your favorite heroes brutally murdered, and by the end it doesn't even matter anyway because that timeline gets erased. So
I do think it's funny that the final scene is basically just the end of Avengers: Infinity War. Just wanted to say
sort of, yeah. But it's just that where it's just like they give so little of a inkling of a shit. So there's just like, you know what, fuck it, kill everything. Like, we don't care anymore. We're just gonna make standalones and, also weird like interactive death in the family movies because
yes, choose your own adventure movies.
Oh my god.
I do have a contester for the worst movie of 2020 because I forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
Scoob. I think that takes the cake, guys, because it is absolute garbage.
Yeah, when by the end when the police officer takes the disguise, oh my god,
it's so bad.
Oh man, what a terrible excuse for a movie. But anyway, let's move on to our next section, I guess, which is TV shows. And for me, this was really hard to pin down because there's like, I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore, like whether it's on cable or on streaming services. So
barely gotten any TV this year.
Yeah. But Swfte, why don't you start us off with what you think was the worst thing to come out of TV this year, if you have anything?
Well, this is the only spot on the list I actually didn't put anything, but I'm going to tell you that I will say that a TV show I really didn't like from this year was Utopia, I think it's called. I believe. With Oh, who the hell is in that show?
Isn't like Dwight from The Office in there, or am I thinking of another show?
You're thinking of another show.
Okay.
Yeah. Utopia, I don't even know what channel it's on. I just kind of stumbled across it this year and I was like, what is this shit? Like I was just like, oh wait, no. Dwight from The Office is in this show.
That's what okay. It was
Yeah.
just like, that's what because it sounded familiar in my head. It was like, it's like, is he
Well,
in there? But,
he sunk
yeah.
kind of low coming from The Office because The Office is like beloved by a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have more good shows that I'll talk about in the best of episode than I do bad shows, because the shows that I did watch were really good for the most part. I guess Stargirl wasn't really my cup of tea either. Like, it's not bad, but it's just not my kind of thing.
Well, I forgot they aired episode this year because I watched the first episode last year and then I just stopped watching.
What, of Stargirl?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It's not like it was bad, but
no.
I just just
forgot.
forgot.
I have some type of like, just something allures me away from the CW series stuff.
Yeah, like
because some of it is really just weird.
When Crisis was absolute garbage, and I will never stop saying that. And I'm the biggest fan of the CW. Well, at least I was, that you will ever find.
You watch Crisis for the cameos, and you don't care about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it just hurt me how bad it was because I mean they failed to give Oliver a natural send off.
That's true. Yeah,
Dude,
I was a huge Green Arrow fan.
I felt so bad for Stephen Amell, like when that whole
Me
stuff was
too.
happening, and then right afterwards he was like, "Yeah, fuck them."
They literally renamed it the CW verse.
Oh man,
yeah,
which is garbage. I will never watch a CW show ever again.
But yeah, so those two shows, I mean, Utopia definitely takes the cake for me as the worst one that I've watched anyway.
Yeah. Ultra, what about you? What do you stand on the worst of TV?
Well, okay. Let's see. Can I just say Batwoman?
Yeah. And you know what?
Like, I mean, just for the sole reason that what's her name quit and then they replaced her with a brand new character. I mean, I just think that's it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Well, Batwoman is shit.
Yeah, the first season was
I'm glad that they switched out the first lady who was Batwoman.
Ruby Rose,
Yeah, because she was like a stale ass motherfucker.
Oh yeah, and she was way too stoic, which is the same reason I don't like Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and like what, like the movie, or you mean just the character?
The movie. Like Brie Larson's version. That's the same reason I don't like her, because she doesn't really have a character or any personality.
Well, yeah, with Batwoman, was that this year though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It started last year, but then the season ended this year.
I mean, the change was also this year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the change was true.
Plus, I mean, she was good in like the crossover she first appeared in.
Yeah, she was good in Elseworlds, and then right afterwards, it was just like, yeah.
I think it was probably the writers.
It was most definitely the writers.
Because I bet Ruby Rose is a good actor.
Actress.
Because she was in John Wick. You don't get in John Wick and not be a good actor.
It's not the actor's fault. It's not the actor's fault a lot of the times. It's the writers that just butcher the character.
Or the directors.
And like the actor has no other choice than to be like, well, this is what they want me to do, so I'm going to do it.
Yes, basically. I was also going to mention earlier, but Batwoman is also on my list. So the only thing I can really say about it is that, I mean, despite watching the first like 3 episodes, I tried to do something with it, and then immediately it just, lost my interest.
I tried to stay into it. Like I tried to watch it week after week, but I just couldn't.
Yeah,
because it was. I mean, it's the same reason I can't watch Legends of Tomorrow, because it is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Same reason I mean, The Flash isn't as bad, but similar reason why I can't watch The Flash. It's just not that good anymore.
Flash is really inconsistent.
This last season was pretty meh.
Yeah.
There were some good moments, but just overall meh.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I like the first half more than the second half, but
yeah. Plus, the season before that was absolute garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to the next thing.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, we're going to mention video games, and there have been some really good games this year and also some really bad ones.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it on the Game Awards and those other podcasts, but now I want to get in depth on what you guys think is your worst game of this year, and I'm going to start with Ultra. So, out of what you played this year, what is undoubtedly the worst?
Okay, so I don't think this is a very hard question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Our selection for today is Bing Bing Bing, Who's Avengers?
Yeah.
As I said about Batwoman, the Avengers is absolute garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of am curious as to what you think, Marvel, because I don't know if I've ever heard your take on Avengers. Is it in your worst category, or is it not?
Well, actually, it is, and I was going back and forth because it was either this game or Last of Us Part 2, and the reason I went Avengers over Last of Us was because this had so much promise, it's so much ambition, and then by the time it actually got out there, all hope was just kind of lost. For me, there were some strong points, mainly with characters and gameplay somewhat, but everything else surrounding it was just pure and utter trash.
Yeah.
So
and it should burn.
Yeah, I was gonna actually say Avengers is my least favorite as well, so I think we're all in agreement. Court adjourned.
Okay.
No,
hit the gavel.
Yeah, I think Avengers, by the time it was released, it had sunken 7 miles into the sea. It was like when it was announced. What was it? 2015. It was kind of like they teased it, right? Am I right?
It was like 2017. We got a small teaser, and then for years nothing came out of it. Everybody was wondering where the hell it was, and then by the time it did show up, it was disappointing.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't feel like it was 5 years of work put into that.
That's my desk.
It feels like a game that they kind of threw together in 2 years maybe, and just was like, oh, people are getting more into the co-op thing, and it'll be really great. Everybody will play it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Jacob, are you using the bathroom in there?
Yes. You might want to mute your mic, Aid. Oh yeah, I was gonna.
It was muted in a second.
But yeah, so I think that Avengers had so much potential, and it just let me down.
Yeah.
Because I was really looking forward to it. I was extremely excited. I was like, man, we're gonna get the free roam in San Francisco with all the Avengers, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be new gameplay, push the boundaries of gameplay, and it didn't really do that for me personally.
Yeah, I was in the same boat because when it was announced, I mean, besides, other people were kind of hesitant, but for me, this was the game I was looking forward to for the year. Like, this was my most anticipated game. And it was just God of War with Destiny. Like, that's all it was. And I mean, I like the God of War gameplay. I think it works for this game and also for the different characters, because for me, Iron Man and Captain America, they are pretty fun to play as. And but just everything surrounding it was utter like disappointment. And my heart was broken after that. After finishing the story, which was, it went okay, and then as soon as I got into the multiplayer, it was just like, oh boy, like, oh no, like this is really going downhill. Now I know why everybody was complaining on Twitter. So
and I think for superhero fans and just nerds like us, it's like, it's really kind of upsetting almost, because these games are built up so high and then they fall. It's like they're on top of Mount Everest, and then by the time of release they go downhill. And it's upsetting, because like, as an Avengers fan, I wanted to like the game a lot. Welcome back. But yeah, I wanted to like the game a lot as an Avengers fan. I love the Avengers, and I wanted it to be a good game because, I think you and I can both agree, all three of us can agree, that we had an option to literally play as Earth's mightiest heroes, right?
Yeah.
And that would have been amazing if it was executed greatly.
If it was actually, worth our time.
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna buy. I'm not even gonna buy it. I played it on somebody else's console and beat it. Well, actually, that's not true. I borrowed somebody else's game, and I was like, "Can I?" I actually asked him. I said, "Can I borrow this just to play it and see how I like it, and then maybe I'll invest in it?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, play it and tell me what you think." So I ended up beating it in a night, and I was like, "Yeah, bro, you can take it back. I don't like it."
I mean, for me, it's like the video game equivalent of Justice League.
Oh yeah, that's pretty low. That's pretty insulting.
Yeah,
I would agree, but
because like same with Justice League, but we don't know if there was any interference. I don't know, but it's like they quote unquote took so much time to make this.
Yeah,
but it's not good.
Yeah, but all right. Well, now at least we're all in the same boat on Avengers. So, do you guys want to move on to comics? I guess is that the next?
Yeah, I guess we can just do that. So, comics. This was kind of hard for me because I didn't really read a whole lot this year. I wanted to, but it was just like things happening, and
To be honest, comics were pretty banging this year.
There were some good ones. Yeah.
I mean, not gonna lie, I enjoyed a lot of it. My bank account did not.
So, Swfte, how about you start on your worst that you've read this year?
Well, sorry to everyone watching, and I'm sorry to you guys, but the worst, I actually don't have one, because here's the thing. So, like you guys said, there wasn't really a lot of comics that, at least I didn't read, because I'm trying to save as much money as possible, and I know that if I go to a comic shop, I will buy a shit ton of comic books.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, new comics are like $4. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'll like buy a whole series and it'll be $100. And I'll just waste my bank. So what I was reading this year is just old graphic novels. I'm in the middle of Batman Dark Victory right now, so I'm not actually reading anything current at the moment. But so yeah, I don't have a worst. I don't even have a best, because I haven't read any of 2020 comics. The only thing I actually did read that I loved was something that I won't say until next episode, actually, because it would give it away. All right. So yeah, I don't have any worst. So I saved your asses, DC and Marvel.
since Ultra, you've read more comics this year than I have. How about you?
Don't worry, I've read more than both of you combined.
Yeah.
So,
if your bank account has
Yes.
anything to say about it.
yes. Well, here's the thing. I don't think there were really any bad comics, in my opinion. Because I mean, everything I read, I really enjoyed. So,
Well, what was
DC,
your
you're
least
welcome.
favorite of whatever you read? What was your, maybe it's not even like you don't not like it, but what was your least favorite out of everything that you read?
I mean, well, the Thor runs, it's good, not great.
Okay.
I mean, some pretty weird stuff there, like the whole Thor having to change to his alter ego again, and I still think that's just not a good story device whatsoever. And Three Jokers, I enjoy it, but
Mhm.
a little too late, guys. You released a comic that you teased at like, what was it, 3 years ago?
3-4 years, something like that.
Like, why did you do that? Also, a little bit of a problem is like the excess of Joker content. Like not even just like a normal amount of excess, but like Joker War, 3 Jokers. I mean, there's the Batman who laughs in death metal. That's just enough for the Joker
It's
already.
too much joke. It's way
It's
too much Joker.
It's just too much, guys.
And like that's coming from me, who's like, I'm like a diehard
Yeah, I mean,
Batman fan.
I love Batman and I love the Joker, but could you just make one story with Batman or any DC character without Joker?
This is Arkham Knight all over again. Why
Yes,
is the
it is.
Joker here?
But Joker prints money.
I mean, just guys, please, like, this is the same problem I have with Marvel. Like, stop banking on nostalgia, for Pete's sake.
Well, I think with Joker, the problem, and this is with any hero or villain, and it goes for DC and Marvel, is that what sometimes I've noticed they'll do is that they'll have a comic run. And specifically, I saw it this year. I didn't read them, but I saw that they're running these comic runs, and what they'll do is they'll go overboard with it. So they'll see that they're getting like really good sales on them because people are like, oh, it's Spider-Man and Venom, or it's Joker and Batman,
like,
and they're like, oh, this is really great stuff. And then what they'll do is they'll be like, okay, we're nearing the end, and everyone thinks it's going to be done. And then they bring more and more and more and more and different like story arcs for different comics and different storylines. And it's like, you're going overboard now. And what that does is, people don't realize, is it actually makes them lose readers, because they're like, this is boring as hell. Why am I still reading Batman versus Joker issue 785 of 2020?
Yeah.
Like, it's so it's too much. And I wish that they would understand that, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even read Joker War because I was getting really tired of Joker.
Yeah.
Joker. And like, just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Enough.
So
Please.
What about you, Marvel?
Joker War.
Yes.
So I tried to read it, and I was apprehensive by the concept, and I was like, whatever, I'll try to get into it anyway, and it just never like hooked me in.
And
like,
I'm still real mad that they killed off Alfred.
Mm-hmm. And
I heard about that. I didn't read it, but I heard.
You don't kill off
Al. Son of a bitch!
You don't kill off Al.
Yeah, no.
Somebody kills Alfred, I'm gonna come after them.
Yeah, I'm gonna come after you, Tinian. I'm gonna go after you. I'm gonna hunt you down like Liam Neeson in the Taken movie.
Oh man, like Tom King's on my list, so like, so.
I think Tom King had a better run than Tinian, but don't get at me.
Yeah, it might be true, but I think all of us can agree that Scott Snyder topped everything.
Oh yeah, he's superior. obviously,
Even
because
though
because death metal is metal.
I mean, even like I mean, I like the first metal, but then this newest one, I'm just like, I don't really care anymore. Like, I mean, we've had enough multiverse for like the last like 10 years, so can we just like tone it down a little bit? And
I miss comics that are just comics,
like simple.
Like I don't have to read it and like read 50 other different characters. Like,
I mean,
I want to sit down and read Miles Morales for a day and be like, this story is just continuing the arc of just Miles so that his character can grow. And that's what I want to read. No, you can go ahead.
I do think we're running into the same problem that they ran into like right before New 52. Continuity fatigue. Like,
oh God, yeah.
Because
New 52 was fucking crazy when it came out too. When I remember when that happened, people were like shitting themselves that they're redoing everything. I wasn't like pissed, but I was like, man, you're redoing everything. It's a pretty ballsy move. Like, and that's usually how I am when comic book things do that. Companies do that.
I do think Marvel needs a reboot though, because
have they ever had anything like that?
They've never rebooted, but I do think they need to.
It's always been like soft reboots.
Because
that's true. Yeah.
I mean, their continuities. I mean, none of the lineups are very recognizable anymore, especially the Avengers lineup.
Well, a lot of it has to do with different writers, because one writer can take like so much love and care with the character and like knows the story so well, and they won't have any loopholes. And then there's some other ones that just want to like reinvent everything just for the sake of calling it their own character. And sometimes that can be good and sometimes it can be bad because they don't always read everything as a whole story.
Like for years, we didn't even have Iron Man. He was replaced by a teenage girl.
Oh, yeah.
He was in a coma for like years. And I mean, the Avengers lineup was pretty much unrecognizable. Also, the event comics for Marvel was not good. So there.
I think that's one of my main things about comics now, or mainly Marvel DC, because everything has to be like a ginormous scale, and it's always like world ending or multiverse colliding. It's like we need to stop. Like, we just need to tone it down, do stories that are small scale. Like, I would love a story come out now of just like Batman trying to figure out where the Riddler is. Like,
like could we just get a Batman detective story?
Exactly.
Which we haven't really had since, I don't know, Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder's really fucking amazing.
Because like with Tom King, as much as I do enjoy parts of his run, his first run was him fighting a Superman, a guy with Superman powers.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, is like a lot of these guys do like the stereotypical like, oh, this is what the fans will want, like Batman versus Superman for the 50th time in 2 years. But like what we want and what a lot of other fans I'm sure want is just like Marvel said, like Batman chasing down the Riddler. Like, he's got to find him. He has an evil scheme, whatever. Like, the way comics used to be was really a lot simpler. And I'm not saying big scale things are bad, but I'm saying that, we've had so much of it, and it's time to tone it down a little bit and go back to basics for a little while.
Like, think about how many event comics we've had this year. Like, just for DC. 3 Jokers. Death metal. We had
the Joker thing's insane. They gotta really stop.
And
that
the
shit.
Joker War of so much.
Well, yeah. So I guess so. 3 Wars is that what it is? Or Joker Wars? I'm sorry, my bad. Joker Wars.
3 Wars.
I mean,
I don't know what the hell. I think I said 3
Which
Wars.
Joker am I?
I mostly think what the Bible for like them to make their continuity and comics more consistent is like, look at the DCAU. Look at how they did that.
Sorry, I'm laughing. It's just I all as I heard was, think about the Bible. I don't know if that's what you guys heard, but when Ultra said that, all I heard was think about the Bible, and then continue to say,
what would God do in this situation? Oh man,
he would destroy all the companies. He would scatter them to the ends of the earth.
So, Marvel, what do you think is next, or is that kind of like the end? What do you think?
Well, the next thing that I had was just kind of an extra,
mention
bit,
category.
a bonus bit. So if you guys have one you want to bring up that are like not related to any of these things, like,
okay, I have one.
Okay.
The year.
I mean, I can't like disagree with you.
The entire year.
You know what's funny? I had that on my list too. So
yeah, it's just like
literally everything about 2020 was garbage this year.
Yes. It was. And like people are being like, be optimistic and all this stuff. How can you be optimistic? There's hundreds of thousands of people dying. We have a virus that we literally can't like seem to contain because people aren't following the rules. Because people have always been that way. They want to do things their own way, and it's not right.
Also, apparently, an election is more important than just this.
I don't ever get political in anything, but yeah, the election was crazy just because of it went on for a long time. It just
added more. What's the word? Just insaneness to the year.
Well, it was the most odd election I've ever lived through. I would say, I've only lived through 3 elections.
I lived through the Obama one, the Trump one.
I lived through both of Obama's.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Yeah, and all 3 of us lived through Obama's elections.
I just only remember the second one.
Trump's election, and then, and now Joe Biden's election. I don't even know what's going on with that. There's been like no news on the election.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm really
Where's
tired.
Kanye?
Where's Kanye?
Dude, that's so funny you say that because he like disappeared from everything. Like he's not even being talked about. Like it was like a big thing too. I was seeing people, and mind you, I live in Pennsylvania near Philadelphia, and it's a very democratic area, but I saw so many people with fucking Kanye hats. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Am
Kanye 2021.
Like, that's exact. Like I saw that shit and I was like, dude, these people are wearing like Kanye attire and like, what the hell is going on?
I think that we should get Kanye to sponsor the Speaking Nerd, whatever.
The Speaking Nerd podcast.
You know what?
Yes.
I'll have to run it by him and see what.
I'll have to run it by him. But yeah, so I agree with you guys. The year was just mayhem. You know, school got cut out. It's barely even relevant.
Which wasn't entirely a bad thing, but
I don't know. I mean, I think the beginning was everybody was like, "Yeah, it's fun. We have 2 weeks off." I remember it was like, but then we're having 2 weeks off, and
then after that, it just sucked more.
And then everybody's just on a Zoom call. It's just like, oh, right. I want to go back to school.
Yeah, it was like it sucked because they were like, yeah, so we're gonna have 2 weeks off, and enjoy this. You're not gonna get any work. And I was like, fuck, it's March and we're getting 2 weeks off. This is like perfect. And then on top of that, we had spring break afterwards. So I was like, oh, this is going to be great. What happens? 2 weeks passes. A month passes. 3 months passes.
A year passes.
Yeah, exactly. And then now the year is going to be over in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, we've only got 15 days. 16. 16.
Yeah.
Till Christmas? Or to the end of the year.
I think to the end of the year, yeah.
That New Year's celebration.
I'm not even sad. Fuck this year. It can go to hell. It can get the fuck out of history. I don't care about 2020. I hope that 2021 brings us better days, a better year, and Papa John's.
Yes, Papa John's.
No,
if he's not canceled anymore.
No, you know that commercial? Better people, better pizza, Papa John's.
That should be the next. That should be the next election. Kanye and Papa John.
I've decided after almost 45 years of making pizzas, I want to run for president.
And then when he loses, he's gonna say, "There's gonna be a reckoning."
But yeah, this year can just get out of history. It can leave our minds. It's just, it was so bad.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so all of us said 2020, correct?
I believe so.
Wow. Well, that's that, everybody. That's
on that downer of a note.
On that downer.
That's the end of this podcast. So
it was a very happy one.
Yeah, a very upbeat, non disappointing podcast. So I want to thank both of my friends for coming on here and talking about 2020, the worst of 2020.
So just also, 2020.
Yeah. And also the best of, which if you're joining us from that, then welcome. And if you're not, then whatever. Or you can just
get
watch.
Out of here.
You just watch
get
that
out
one
of
next.
Here. If you're not here to watch it, get out of here.
Be sure to check out their channels.
And check out my new video.
I was just gonna say, check out Ultra's new video and
my interview with Steve Orlando.
Yes.
And I finally released it, guys. Yes. After months.
Yeah. So be sure to do that. And also check out Swfte's content because he's got some really good stuff on there. So
if you don't subscribe to Swfte right now, I will hunt you down like Liam Neeson in a Taken movie. And I will grab your throat through the screen. And I'm gonna pull you through the other side. I'm gonna slap you all over the face.
I just imagine the person you're talking to is like you already left the room before you reach in. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Be sure to follow me on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also check out my Discord server because it's looking a little not packed right now. So, we could liven it up a bit, but we'll see you guys next time. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to take care of yourselves. See ya.